An ancient horror has awoken from its slumber and is hungry for blood. Shall we see how many have fallen into shadow?
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
I'm ready to go dark.
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
Man out, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna sigh out for this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man?
Hey, what's
for
up, peeps?
himself?
Welcome to the Namco event. How's it going? Just started.
You teeter
The last
on the
thing of
edge
E3.
an abyss.
Sort of.
Your survival depends on the choices.
That guy sounds like
you make.
Alfred. So.
They will be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
What nightmare have these luckless souls fallen into?
You keep lookout.
Look out? Look out for what?
One by one, their lights will be snuffed out.
Whoa.
Unless you can find the means to save them. Trapped beneath the earth, swallowed
You have to move, let's go.
by the void. Will you find the path to salvation? Or be lost in the darkness forever?
House of
Look
Ash.
Ashes.
Okay. This is Namco's event today? House of Ashes? Okay.
We're here at Supermassive to talk about the next game in the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. And I'm joined by exec producer Dan. How you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Right,
Really cool.
so let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes for most of the interview, but for those that don't know, tell us about the Dark Pictures
This guy's
anthology.
head the
The
entire
Dark
time.
Pictures is a series of
No, it's
narrative, story-driven, branching
huge,
horror
it's
stories.
huge.
Each one is standalone. They each tell a different story, completely separated from the others, but within the same universe. So there is connection
so do
between
you.
them. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003, with links 4,000 years ago that set the story up.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within House of Ashes.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology that can look for weapons of mass destruction underground. They think they've identified something in the Zagros Mountains in Iraq. And then as part of that, they come into
Guy did
conflict
kinda
with
look like
an Iraqi
Tom Cruise a
unit.
little bit, yeah.
And there's a pitched firefight. And then
Come on, guys.
the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort. And
I think it's
it's
very
revealed that there's a hidden temple underground. You know, these big, massive structures. But these different groups, they're all separated. Radio contact is lost. And they're submerged in this black darkness.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
What the just happened?
So this time, it's a very real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures games, they all pull something from real life or from history, from fact. What's the case with the myth or historical part of House of Ashes?
So we love looking at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing our research. And we know our fans love it as well, because there's something that they can link into afterwards. And I love doing that when I'm playing games or watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago, the Akkadian Empire, and this terrible evil that happened. We had this self-proclaimed god king, Naram Sin, and he essentially cursed his people. He sacked this temple and brought famine and devastation to his own people. And so a lot of the history is lost, but we've done a lot of research about it. And then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it. We get to twist it, and obviously we've made our own truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster. The team aren't going to know if there's one or two of them, or hundreds or thousands of them. And that's kind of the threat with this. You know, they've got guns, maybe they could try and take one of them down. But maybe there's another one around the corner, or maybe there's a group of them, and maybe they're going to get ambushed.
Maybe they're like a cluster.
Exactly,
And
yeah,
they all pop
a
out at
nest,
once.
as it were.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to work on and see these things move around and how horrific they can be. They're different to us. They perceive the world in a different way. Getting little snippets of it in the darkness, and did I see that? Was it something that moved? Or is it actually just one of the other soldiers that's stuck in the catacomb?
Who's there?
We like to try and misdirect people on things, that did you see something, did you not? And that's a great thing within horror, that
Can't
you
tell
think
them
you're going to be
interested
scared
in
right
this
now.
or not.
And we're not going to scare you now.
It's
We're
a
scaring
horror
you
game.
when you're not expecting it.
It's always coming.
Yeah, always.
So should we expect a huge amount of peril in the game?
Definitely.
think
We
it's
love to do
cool
it.
that they talk about the
It's fun
Akkadian
for us to
Empire.
work
That's
on.
kinda cool.
As horrific as it is, and
History
we know that our
stuff.
fans love it as well. So yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths, and there's a whole ton of variation on that as well. So Merwin and some of the others, you're going to see different things happening to them depending on how you play it out, getting ripped and shredded and torn, and because there's a firefight, there's going to be bullets flying as well and all kinds of stuff. And it's not just the deaths, it's the gore that goes along with it, and lots of blood.
Wicked. It sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm in.
Not gonna lie, man. It's pretty bad.
But what differences have you made or changes have you made to the gameplay and mechanics for House of Ashes?
We're always evolving the Dark Pictures. We listen to a lot of the feedback from our fans, and also our team, what they want to do, how they want to push things forward. So we tried some stuff in Little Hope with more camera control, 360 cameras at certain parts, and we've really leaned on that again, and it really works well. In House of Ashes, lots of the game is set underground, and so these sort of corridors, which are really tight and
It's
oppressive.
the Mummy, the game.
Yeah, indeed. So,
Kinda, yeah.
so we've had to learn because you take away the fixed
I'm
cameras,
looking up the Akkadian
and that takes
Empire
away
right now.
some
See
opportunities
what
for
they look
horror.
like.
But we've had to learn
said
new
he
tricks to
killed
scare
his own
people and
people.
ramp up the tension and the chance for jump scares, which some people love. We've also got a
Not
new
too much
torch
fun
mechanic,
facts.
so
Oh, no, I
it's
won't do
military
fun
themed.
facts.
So these guys are going to be walking around with weapons, with torches mounted on them. We love the lighting that we do, the sort of really inky black darkness that we have, and sort of the contrast to the bright areas. And so you're going to need to lean on that torch to allow you to see where you're going, what the threat is, and that kind of stuff. We've also done things like added difficulty settings to this game. So in Little Hope we added QTE warning icons as an example, and we've got some really good positive feedback about that, but also some people want to turn that off. We want to allow you to play the game in your way. So with our accessibility settings and difficulty settings, if you want to have a more casual experience, you can change those settings. Still, most of your characters are going to end up dead, but that's what
Spoilers,
happens,
yeah,
indeed.
but that's what we come here for. That's
Yeah.
okay, we can deal with it. So I've got to ask, what was it like working with Ashley?
So Ashley was fantastic. She researched Rachel. She understood her when she came on the set. It's so refreshing. She knew her inside out. And Rachel is a flawed character, so she brought that through so fantastically. The rest of the cast were fantastic as well.
When we were looking for Joey, Salim helped me.
You didn't tell me this because...
You'd flip your shit.
We want you to connect to these characters and understand them as humans. We want them to seem real because they're real to us. We spend a long time designing them, and I don't mind if you hate any one individual character because you don't like everyone in real life. But maybe you'll like them when you see the journey they go on.
Maybe you'll like them once they're dead and you feel bad about it.
and you feel bad about it, definitely.
Yeah.
But also we want you to save them. We want you to try and save them. We know that some people want to get everyone killed straight away, and that's fine. That's their
That's cool.
playthrough, that's what
Yeah.
they want to do. But, can you get everyone out alive and save as many as you can?
There's a lot of replayability there.
Indeed,
Goes on
yeah.
forever. I like
Yeah.
that. So, last question. Favourite scene?
Favourite scenes? So, Salim, our Iraqi soldier, and Jason Kolchak, one of the Marines that's there. There's a way that can play out, and a sort of contest between them, and you can make it go in a number of different ways.
The
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
It's really emotional. Seeing them film it, I was lucky enough to be there, and then seeing that come through in game, I think we've got something there. I think that's gold. And then, of course, I love scaring people, so I love the jump scares. I love the moments of tension that we bring. We can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic jokes in there as well to allow you to relax for a moment before we scare you again.
Thanks.
Take your mind off
Yeah.
the imminent threat. I like that. Dan, thank you so much. This has been really cool to talk about, and
This
I'm
might
sure
be the
you
only
know,
thing
I'm
Namco's doing, actually, for
excited
this
and
event.
terrified in equal part, and
Actually-
everyone else is just excited.
And it's been a real pleasure to speak to you, and I can't wait to get it into people's hands.
It's gonna happen.
If this is Sargon the Great, this is one of the most famous people that's ever lived. Some people say he was the same person as Nimrod in the Bible and Gilgamesh, founder of Uruk in 2300 BC. Amazing. So that'll be interesting.
House of Ashes. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it for E3. Yep, that was it.
Well, we can watch it again and you can talk about it if you want or whatever.
Wow, that was it for Namco, huh? Hmm.
Do you want to do that or no?
I don't know. I mean,
You can ask people what they thought of E3 or something.
I mean, I thought that was going to be much longer than it was.
I'll turn down the volume and you can talk over it and ask people.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll go back
I'll
to...
do it. Well, let's see. We were watching this on IGN here.
I don't remember which one.
We were watching it here. I think we were watching it here, maybe?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we were watching it on here.
It's Bandai Namco.
Here. Done.
Yeah. Then you just have to rewind.
My favorite part about coming to St. Francis is definitely just the community here.
St. Francis University.
I wouldn't even
go there.
Yeah, that's it.
Learn things. Okay, guys, we're just gonna go over it again, and then Luke and you guys can.
You went too far.
You guys can tell us what you thought about E3
Still
and
too far.
stuff.
Way too far. It was only like a 10-minute thing.
Like 10 minutes.
There you go. That's it. That's it. So the Namco Bandai event was only one
game.
One game.
That's an event now.
Wait, is this it?
This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
They show it twice.
Dark Pictures Anthology. Yeah, so that was it. They didn't do anything else. They didn't talk about any of the other games. Nothing.
I can turn down the volume.
And is hungry for blood. Shall we see?
That's
how
all
many
they did.
have fallen into shadow?
I mean, I heard that the Namco
Satellite
event was
sweeps
going to be
of the
really
war zone
short,
have uncovered what appears
but
to be an
I didn't think it would be
underground
this
storage
short. I
facility.
mean, that was barely 10 minutes
Strongly
long.
suspect
So,
chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
I mean, I guess this game looks interesting, but I'm not really into horror games at all.
To descend into the unknown alone
You know,
is
you're
extremely
going in as a
brave.
bunch of different soldiers from the
Or
UN, and they're
extremely
searching for
foolish.
something, and then they end up getting bumped
Brothers
off
in
by a,
arms,
you know,
or will it be a case of each man
all kinds of
for
stuff.
himself?
Monsters. So my guess is this takes place during the Iraq War.
On the edge of an abyss.
You know.
Oh, right, because this is
Your
Sumeria.
survival depends on the
Well, of course,
choices
Iraq
you
would be
make.
more Babylon. This is
They will
Sumeria.
be
I'm pretty
as a
sure it said
compass,
2003.
guiding you through the
Yeah,
unknown.
I guess, well, I mean, Sumeria would be
Judge
near.
greener than we landed.
What nightmare have these luckless souls
Apparently,
fallen
they
into?
said that Akkadian Empire came right after Sumeria.
Yeah,
One by
no fun
one,
facts.
Okay, fine.
their lights will
I'll
be
false. I
snuffed out.
already told you that.
But
4 hours
apparently,
later.
if this really was Gilgamesh, if it was supposed to be something like demonic, like evil monster king, then that would totally make sense that they're making an action.
Will you find the path to salvation?
It could be him, or there could be a whole bunch of crazy monsters that are down.
Well, they were showing him the cruel spirit of Moon, like for fun. They said he was like disgusting or something.
Yep. So that will be coming out around Halloween of this year.
Yeah. Luke, you
PS4,
wanna play that on Halloween?
No. I'd rather play the Metroid game.
This looks super. I don't think I could. So, what did you guys think of E3? Some people said they thought E3 sucked this year.
I mean,
don't know.
there were parts of E3 that
We're
were
here
really
at Supermassive to talk about the
I'm not
next
gonna lie.
game in the Dark Pictures
Like,
anthology, House of Ashes. And I'm joined by
I
executive
felt like
producer
last year
Dan.
when
How you
Jeff
doing?
Keighley threw
Hello.
together a bunch
for
of like
joining us.
stuff to
Right,
show,
so,
like things that were going
let's
to be at
start at the
E3,
very
and he
start.
put
We're
together
gonna be
his own
talking
game
about
show.
House of Ashes. For most
I
of
think
the
Keighley
interview,
did a
but
better
for those that
job
don't
than
know, tell us about
E3
the Dark
did trying to
Pictures
do this
anthology.
digital
The
show.
Dark Pictures is a series of
It feels like
story-driven,
outside of Nintendo,
branching
nobody
horror
really had
stories. Each one
their
is
game face on
standalone,
except for maybe
each had a different
Xbox
story,
and
completely
Bethesda.
separate from the others.
But mostly,
within the
most of the
same
games that
universe, so
Xbox
there
was
is connection
showcasing
between
was
them.
Bethesda. If
House
they
of
hadn't
Ashes
bought
was set at
Bethesda
the end of the
last
Iraq
year,
War in 2003, with links 4,000
you know,
years ago. that set
Xbox
the
would have had a
story
pretty
So
lackluster
tell us more about the
event. It would have been
theme and
Forza,
themes, I suppose, within,
Halo,
House of Ashes.
and one
It
other
starts off
game.
with a
Whereas
military unit that got
they
some new
had all these
technology
new
that can
announcements
look
from
for weapons of
Bethesda.
mass
Was the
destruction
majority of the
ground.
show, like
They
more than
think they've
half of the show
identified
was
something in
Bethesda.
the Zagros Mountains in
So,
Iraq.
you know,
And
two
then
great
as part of
studios
that,
becoming
they come
one.
into conflict with
Nintendo,
Iraqi unit that was a pitched firefight,
they actually
and
went
then
through and they
the
announced
two
some
groups
things, and then they
are
told
plunged
people, hey,
underground.
Breath of the
There's
Wild
an
is
earthquake of some
2022,
sort, and
Metroid
it's
Prime
revealed
4
that
is
there's
still
a
in
hidden
development,
temple
but hey,
underground.
you know, we got a Metroid game for you anyway, and it's Metroid 5, based on the canonical Metroid games, so that's pretty cool.
Demonic Spart says no one won
And then they're going to
E3.
start hearing things and seeing things.
I still
and
think
people are gonna
Nintendo is
start
the clear winner.
disappearing.
There was a lot of stuff that Nintendo brought their A game. They also
So
brought
this
back a
time
franchise
it's a very
that
real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures
I
games,
thought I
they
would
all
never
pull
see again
something
because it was a
from-
dead
from real
franchise,
life
and
or
that was the
history for
Advanced
fact.
/
What's the
Battalion
case
War
with
series,
the myth
which
or
ended in 2008,
historical part of,
right around the
House
time
of
that my YouTube channel
we
really
love
started to
looking
take
at,
off.
looking
So,
at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing
you
our
know,
research. And we know our fans
Advanced
love it as
Wars
well,
was
'cause
really
there's
big when
something
I was
that they can
in
link into
college,
afterwards. And I
and
love
I
doing
played
that
the
when I'm
first
playing games
game
and watching
like,
movies myself. So this one's
you know,
set 4,000
not
years
too
ago.
long
The
ago.
Akkadian
Well, no, it
Empire
was a long time
and this
ago, but
terrible
it
evil
was
that
like
happened. We had
not
this
long after
self-proclaimed
September. The
God
game
king
came out November
known sin,
2001, I believe.
and he essentially cursed
So-
his people. He sacked this
Yeah, I
temple,
believe this is
and
on
famine
Microsoft and also
devastation
Sony
to his
Yeah,
people.
this is
And so a lot of the
PS5,
history is
PS4, and
lost, but
Xbox.
We've done a lot of research
And
about it, and then we
probably
had a lot of happy
PC,
accidents
but
that
I don't
linked
know.
into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is
Just
we
like,
get to, we get
I mean,
to do our
I
own
I
take
can't
on
believe
it,
that
we get to
Namco
twist
didn't
it,
have an
and
actual
obviously
event.
we've
They
made
could
our
have
own
just said
take
that this
from it.
was
At the end
a
of the
interview
sneak peek, the trailer we saw
for an upcoming game.
monsters.
But
Tell
I
us a
guess
bit
that
more about
this
what's
didn't
going on
make it
there.
into
The
any
military unit that you're
presentations
playing as,
for
they don't really know
Xbox
what they're
or
going up against.
you
They're
know
not
anybody
human,
else.
they're
But I
bigger,
really
they're
thought
larger, they're
Namco had a lot of
faster.
announcements
The
this
team
year.
aren't gonna know if there's
So I'm
one
really
or two of
surprised
them,
that they didn't
or
have their own
hundreds or
E3 show.
thousands.
We're
And
getting
that's kind of the
Dragon Ball Z
threat with this,
Kakarot, the
they've got
full
gone.
game is coming to
Maybe they
Nintendo
could try and
Switch.
take
They
one
don't
of
really
them
tell
down.
you if it's a cloud service
But maybe
game or
there's
what it
another one
is.
around the corner, or maybe
But
there's a group
you
of
know
them,
they're
and maybe
bringing
they're gonna
that
get ambushed.
behemoth
Maybe
of the
they're like a
game, which is pretty
cluster.
big, to the
Exactly.
Switch.
And they'll pop out once.
That is going to be
Yeah.
a massive
And it's been
file.
really fun to work on. and
They're
see
bringing
these
some
things
other
move
like
around and how
Namco related
horrific they
stuff
can
that
be. They're different
to
us.
other
They perceive the
consoles
world
that
in
I
a
thought they would
different
go
way.
into more detail
Getting
over
little
here, but
snippets
they
of it in
didn't.
the darkness.
All they did was
that-
just
did I see
focus
that? Was it
9
something that
minutes
moved?
on this
Or
horror
was it
game.
actually just one of the other soldiers?
And that's it.
Stuck in the catacomb.
Who's there?
We like to
Yeah,
try and
Akira says
misdirect people
Battalion
on
Wars.
things, you know,
Oof,
that
it's
did
been
you see something,
years.
did you not?
Oh yeah,
And that's
Battalion
the
Wars was
great
a
thing with
GameCube
horror.
and
We think
Wii
we're gonna
game.
be scared right now.
Uh,
We're not gonna
very
scare you
cool
now.
game.
We'll scare you in a minute,
Charles
to be honest
says I
with you.
definitely
Always
expected
coming.
more.
Mhm.
Definitely
So should
Charles
we
the Green
expect a huge
Dragon.
amount of
They
plot
got.
game?
They also
Definitely.
could have shown
We love to
Jump
do
Force
it.
DLC
You know, it's
because
fun-
there's
fun
Jump
for
Force
us to work
DLC
on.
characters
It's
coming. They
horrific as it
didn't.
is.
They didn't really do
We know
anything.
that our fans love
Pokeywood
it as
says
well.
with big
So, yeah,
hitters like
there's at least
Splatoon 3 and Breath of the
unique
Wild
deaths, and
2,
there's a whole ton of
I feel
variation
like
on that
I
as
think
well.
that
So
Switch Pro will be
Merwin
released
and some of
next
the others,
year.
you're going to see
They'll probably do
different
Switch Pro
things
next
happening to
year.
them,
Yeah,
depending
that
on
would
how
be
you
my
play it out,
guess.
you know, getting ripped and shredded and torn, and because there's a firefight, there's
okay,
going to be bullets flying as well.
Yeah,
and
Xbox
stuff.
One
And
for
it's not just
Xbox
the deaths, it's
fans.
the
Yeah,
gore that goes along with
definitely.
it, and,
Xbox did well
you know,
this
lots
year,
of
I feel
blood.
like.
But
Wicked.
here's
That
the
sounds
thing too,
absolutely
guys. You have to
terrifying.
remember
I
that Nintendo doesn't only do a E3 Direct and
What
that's
differences
it.
have
They'll
you
have
made or
like a
changes
few
have you
more
made to the-
directs
to the
this year.
gameplay and
They'll
mechanics
probably
of
have
House
one
of
in
Ashes?
August, and then
We're
they'll
always
probably have
evolving
one
Dark
in the
Pictures.
fall.
We listen to a lot
And
of the,
then they'll have
feedback
one in
from our
January.
fans,
They usually have like 3 or
and
4
also
a
our
year.
team, what they want to do,
So I
how they
mean,
want to push things forward. So
this
we
isn't the
tried
last
some
of the
stuff
big
in
announcements that
Little
we're going to
Hope
get for
with,
Nintendo. This is the
more
last of the
camera
big
control,
announcements
360
that we're going to
cameras
get from a
at certain
direct
parts,
for
and
like
we've really leaned on that again, and it really
probably
works well
4 or 5 months.
in House of Ashes.
And then we'll, you know, learn more about the stuff that's coming because they didn't talk about Splatoon because development is not going as quickly as they want because of the pandemic stuff. Zelda, they didn't really have much to show, which a lot of people are theorizing all kinds of stuff by the, you know, Link having his arm messed up and stuff, which I think is very similar to what happens to Ryu, Hayabusa, and Razor's Edge of Ninja Gaiden 3, where the arm ends up getting all messed up from dark energy, so it looks like Link's arm gets pretty messed up, and people are saying, oh, it's 2 different Links, or Zelda falls in a chasm, so Zelda's missing, is what I'm thinking. And the arm thing that you see Link later, there's going to be a time skip where he ends up in the world of Skyloft. So there's probably no... The reason why they're bringing Skyward Sword back as an HD collection is probably ties into Breath of the Wild 2, because you're going back into the Sky Realm, which is going to be interesting. But I'm pretty sure that the Link that you see looking different, if you look at both of the characters' arms, like Link's arms, they have like that weird, you know, thing with his arm
we
now.
can deal with it.
So
I've got to ask,
when he's up in the
what was it
skies,
like
it's
working with
still
Ashley?
Link. It's just he looks different.
She researched
Probably gonna be a
Rachel,
time
she
skip.
understood her when she came
Ex
on
Law
the set.
Enforcers
It's so
was, I
refreshing.
thought
She knew her
last year
inside
was
out.
cancelled, so
And
they would have
Rachel is
more
a
waiting
flawed
for us
character,
this year.
so she brought that through so fantastically. The rest
Also,
of
you
the
have
cast are
several
fantastic
people
as
that
well.
don't understand
we're
what's
looking
going
for
on.
Joey.
They're like, when will the
Salim, help
Namco
me.
event start?
This was the Namco event.
This is the Namco
This
event.
was-
we watched it in 10 minutes
We
and we're
want you
just
to
watching
connect
it
to
back.
these
Yeah,
characters
this
and
was the
understand
Namco
these
event.
It already
things. We want them
happened.
to
It was
seem
10
real
minutes
because they're
long.
real to us. You know, we spend a
What's
long
the name of the
time
game
designing
again?
them, and And I don't mind if you hate any one individual character because you don't like
I don't know.
in real life.
House of Ashes.
House of Ashes. Dark Pictures. House
Maybe
of
you'll like them
Ashes.
once they're dead. And
This is a horror
and you
game,
feel
and it's
bad
on
about it, definitely. But also we want you to save
Microsoft
them.
and
We want you to try and save
or
them.
Microsoft
we know that
and
some people want to get
PlayStation
everyone killed straight
systems.
away, and that's fine. That's
I mean, for me, I thought Xbox and Nintendo did really well.
Alive,
I also
save
like
as
some of the
many as you
indie
can.
stuff, like
There's a lot of replayability there.
you know,
Indeed, yeah.
I covered the Freedom Games
So,
indie
last
developer
question.
thing on the other channel. I thought they had some cute games.
Favorite
but
scenes. So
I mean,
Salim,
I'm excited
Iraqi
about more
soldier,
Viking content
and
from
Jason Kolchak, one of the
but I
Marines
don't know.
that's there.
A lot of the games
There's
are
a
just
way
adding
that
more
can
content
play out
because,
and a sort of
like
context
Pokewood was
between
saying,
them,
there's a
and you can
global
make it go in a
situation,
number of
so it's
different
really
ways.
hard to get new
The
games.
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So it's hard to show off. They're doing the best they
Seeing
can
them
to show
film
off
it, I was
games,
lucky
but
enough to
hardly
be there.
anyone has new
And
games.
then
Well,
seeing
because
that come
development
through,
time
I
takes
think
so
we've got
long.
something there.
So I
think
mean,
that's gold. And then of course I love scaring
they
people,
had
so
to
I love
halt
the
a
jump
lot
scares,
of the
I love
games they were working on in
moments of
2020.
tension.
You guys have to realize that they lost like
we can't hold
an
you in that
entire
moment, so we've got some
probably
fantastic jokes in there as well.
9 to 8
allow
months
you
of
to relax for a
progress.
moment
Like
before we scare
they
you.
worked January
State of
through
mind of
March
the image.
mostly,
I like
but
that.
then
Dan, thank you so
whatever
much.
work
This
they
has
could
been
do
really
at
cool
home
to
is
talk
all they
about, and
could
I'm
do.
sure, you know,
Um,
excited and
it's
terrified
amazing
that
that
you're part,
Smash
and everyone
Brothers
else
was
is
able to
just
release
excited.
as many characters
And
as
it's
they
been a real
did
pleasure to speak to you.
because
Can't wait to
their
get
you know
into
their
it.
studio was essentially broken up and moved from all over the place. So,
Well, they have really talented people working on them.
there we go. So
that's it. House of Ashes.
House of Ashes was the only game that Namco had for the special event, probably because they couldn't fit it into like a regular, you know, either Xbox or if Sony was there, they probably would have shown this at Sony, but Sony does their own thing now. So, but that's pretty much the end of E3, I think. I don't think there's anything left.
I mean, there are some other presentations going on, like, but not really anything much. So.
No. So at 6:30, guys, I'm gonna go over to my other channel and finish Ratchet and Clank. The Ratchet and Clank finale will be tonight, 6:30. I know I had it scheduled for 7, but
yeah, I would have loved to see more Sega stuff. But like Sonic Colors, see what that was, but they didn't show that.
Sega didn't have an event. Sega will probably have like, well, they did. Sega had their own little 30th anniversary mini direct thing, and you're gonna see companies doing that a lot more. Like when Nintendo started doing that, when Iwata had the idea to do less of a E3, you know, press conference and more of like these mini direct things for the Wii U and the 3DS and stuff like that, it changed the game. And now so many developers are realizing, hey, I can save all this money by just doing like these mini things, and you know, people stream it and talk about it and do all the work for us. We just go ahead and we put this video out, boom. We get all the advertising from, you know, YouTubers and streamers and things like that, getting the word out, getting people hyped about this stuff. And then we don't have to have like these massive presentations and paying for ad space at these big, you know, conventions and things like that. So when Nintendo started doing that, it kind of changed everything. Sony did their PlayStation State of Play. I don't know how much longer Xbox is going to show up at E3. I really honestly feel that E3 is going to be changing dramatically as the years go on.
The most fun presentation that I had watching was honestly Xbox. I feel like their presentation felt like E3, and I felt like it was a lot of fun to watch. But you could tell it probably cost them a ton of money, but I really enjoyed watching the Xbox presentation.
When I attended E3 in the early 2000s, it wasn't as big as you're thinking. Like, E3 started to expand by like 2010, 2011. You had a lot more people involved because the internet had changed dramatically. Video things were more possible, like of new games, instead of people were from 2005 to about 2008, 2009. Mostly people were playing retro games like NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Sega CD, some 3DO channels and things like that. And then as Hopog and these other companies came out, 2008, 2009, you had the ability of capturing HD footage. And, you know, only game journalists, like companies I worked for and things like that, were able to really utilize those HD technologies. But they were different capture things from actual game developers for systems.
Well, now you have so many content creators that are desperate to find something cool to get hyped about, to get views. So it's like we're desperate to use their games, you know, to, you know, show off on our channel so we can get views and revenue. So we can basically do their job for them. They don't need to show the games off because we will do it
Yeah,
for
so
them, basically.
I was just saying E3 started much smaller. It was very small in the 90s. By the time I attended in the early 2000s, there was maybe like 10,000 people. Maybe not that many. Maybe like 4,000 or 5,000 if you counted like all the journalists with the staff and the game developers, and then just tens to hundreds of thousands of people. Like, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point like the last E3 I attended was in 2015, I think, and there was at least 90,000 people one day or something like that. It was insane. But you couldn't move around. You could barely walk the show floors. It was insane. And even PAX has expanded a lot than when it opened in 2010. So,
I mean, this game looks cool, but this is basically how we felt. Like, this is basically the mood of the entire E3. It's like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited about the Nintendo thing, I didn't sleep. I slept for about 4 hours, and then I've been running on that 4-hour sleep all day. And the Nintendo thing was worth it for me. I'm disappointed with the Bandai thing, but you know, maybe I missed a press release where they were just going to talk about House of Ashes. I don't know. I know that they also didn't show the No More Heroes 3 thing that they were supposed to over at Nintendo. They ended up doing something else with it. I think they uploaded a video interview or something like that.
Yes, this is the only game they announced.
This was it.
This is their presentation as one game.
That's why I changed it to Bandai Namco E3 2021 House of Ashes mini showcase, because that's all it was.
Well, I missed the memo that others. I thought they were doing a panel on gaming for that other gaming company, Take-Two.
Apparently, Take-Two issued a statement that it was a Zoom call.
It was not a. I thought it was a gaming panel.
No, people weren't really paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, I would expect E3 to change dramatically. I don't think it's going to come back the way that you expect it to next year. More and more companies are going to drop out because they can make more money just by doing these streaming things and making YouTubers and streamers do the work for them.
We're willing to do it, though.
Traditional game media, like in terms of game journalists, they're losing a lot of credibility because of like a lot of crazy stunts that they pull for activist stuff. And the most honest people that they really see for gamers are people on YouTube and people on Twitch and things like that, giving them gaming news. And, you know, things are going to be changing. Like the way that game journalism was when I started in 2004 is going to be transforming into something completely different that is not going to be exactly how, you know, I thought journalism would remain. Game journalism has been slowly dying traditional wise for at least 4 or 5 years now. I retired in 2014, and became full YouTube. So
thanks so much for the super chat, SA Spurs. When is my Sonic 06 game, Luke?
Sonic 06 game is on the 20th. That's what we agreed on, Saturday.
Saturday, awesome.
Or whatever the 20th is.
So what did you guys think of E3? Did you guys, anyone in the chat, what did you guys think? Did you guys, anything stand out to you? Any games you guys were super excited about? I know a few people were saying Nintendo is probably the only one that you guys were going to get a couple games from that. I think some people are going to buy that mini fridge from Xbox.
The mini fridge from Xbox, yeah.
I'm excited about, like I said, I like Assassin's Creed because it's Vikings right now, so I was excited about that. I'm probably going to get an Xbox S when I trade in all the old game systems that I can.
2 systems.
For that, and then, because I really like the Flight Simulator game. I want to play the game. I don't know why, like, nobody else is talking about it, but that's just the game that stands out to me. I really want to play the game.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
You know, Mario Rabbids,
that's 2022.
Starshine or whatever looks good.
Yeah, that's 2022.
But the only thing that I could see that I'm actually going to play this month is the new DLC for Hyrule Warriors, so yay. So I don't know, new Hyrule Warriors DLC. That's what I'm playing in June, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, coming away from E3, it's like I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to try to get the mini version of the new Xbox system, and just looking forward to whatever Nintendo is releasing the next couple months, because they're releasing some cool stuff. And then, like you said, like, I don't know, I don't understand, like, what's going on with Sony. They didn't do...
Sony will do something later in the year.
So we can look forward to maybe some announcements from Sony.
But their state of play is not very good.
And then we can look forward to more Nintendo Directs, depending on different things. So yeah, that are coming out, because Nintendo even said they didn't show all the games they're working on. But yeah, the Metroid game looks cool. Samus game.
Well, I mean, most game developer stuff has been kind of stalled a little bit.
When do you think Sony will do their showcase? Says Kylie.
Fall. They do it. Sony does their showcases in the winter and the fall, or sometimes the summer.
Big Nate says, I love Nintendo Direct, also the Xbox. I love those party games with the cute animals. Definitely, Big Nate. Agreed. Galen says, the Flight Sim game is kind of a cool game. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, Sammy Bear King says, and a lot of the Nintendo games.
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be great.
Those of you guys asking about Guardians of the Galaxy for the Switch, it's a cloud service game. That's how the Switch is able to play Guardians of the Galaxy. So you're going to need to have online in order to play Guardians of the Galaxy, because the brunt of the game is coming off a cloud service. That's how it's able to work.
You get Demonic Spart says E3 as a whole D-. Red Fury 45, I'm excited for Fatal Frame.
I gave Capcom kind of a bum rap yesterday for their showcase because it was games that we've already seen, but Namco didn't even really show up. And the sad thing is they had games to talk about. So I mean, I don't really understand what Namco's doing.
Deanna says she's excited for Nico Ghost Run, Mario Party Superstar, Mario Golf, Super Rush, Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, Breath of the Wild 2 are the only ones that got my attention. Yeah, they showed a tiny clip of Breath of the Wild 2 for Nintendo.
It was like a 1-minute trailer.
Nintendo wins, no surprise.
Yeah,
says
Nintendo
Tiger
wins
X.
E3 again.
Only a few things outside Nintendo that are on my list. Mini fridge hype, says Plug. Mini fridge for Christmas, says Blazing Onyx.
I love this one comment on Twitter. They're like, Nintendo has to keep carrying everybody's back. Like on...
Marvel was trash, no JoJo game, says Cryptic Division.
No JoJo.
C- overall, says Stone Cold.
Harsh.
What letter grade would you guys give E3 this year if you guys could give them a grade? Luke, would you give them a grade?
If I would grade the overall E3 experience this year, I'd give it a C. Nintendo was the only A+ conference. Xbox to me gets like an A- or a B+. Let's see, Capcom I'd probably give a C+. Take-Two gets an F. D is for Namco. Verizon gets a D. I'm trying to think who else was even here. Square
was good.
Square gets a B+.
I think Square did all right. I think Square showed a lot of games.
No, Square gets a B. Square gets a B.
Philip Blaze says shouldn't even have had an E3 this year. Half the conference showed nothing. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it showed nothing. It's true.
They don't really have anything to show. They could have. Here's the thing. They could have done. Namco should have showed Elden Ring today. They did not. They could have told us more about that. They could have talked more about how in the world are people going to play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on Nintendo Switch. Is it a cloud service game? What are they going to do with that?
Yeah, that's their game.
Yep, they could have,
Also, what about the Tekken character?
Yep, they could have talked about, well, they can't talk about, Kazuya too much. They have a Naruto update for whatever. They could have talked about that. There's stuff going on with Dark Souls. There's another character in Jump Force. I mean, there's a lot of things they could have actually put together to had some type of 20-minute or even 15-minute thing, and instead they give us a 5-minute interview on a horror game that nobody really cares about.
Akira says he was excited for Metroid, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Advance Wars, and many more. Yeah, Luke is excited about Advance Wars. John Doe is excited about Guardians of the Galaxy game. Pokewood says, I was going to E3 last year, but it was canceled. I don't think it will be back to physical event except for the media as it was before they tried to open it to the public.
Yeah, I think it's going to go back to how it was, like I said, early media. I mean, there wasn't really that many people there. You really got to know a lot of people. Like, I knew the IGN Nintendo team in the early 2000s. I knew the GameSpot people, the OneUp.com people, Destructoid, all those, because, I mean, there weren't a lot of journalists back then, so it was very easy to bump into people, and, you know, whereas when you went in the mid 2000s or like 2010s, there's tens of thousands of people like swarming in these buildings. You could barely move around, and if you didn't call them months in advance to book like a 5-minute interview, you would stand in line and you would never get to look at anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just better, honestly, if you do the YouTube or the Twitch streamer thing, it's just best to stream E3 and then to attend a place like PAX.
Yeah,
or
a smaller convention.
C2E2, the Game Developers Conference.
Because otherwise you'll be
like
standing in line for hours to see one game.
It's not worth it. Also, it'll cost you thousands of dollars to go to E3. If you're even when we were invited by Warner Brothers, like
it still costs us a lot.
It cost us like $2,000 for a hotel,
plane and everything.
Food, travel, and I mean they paid for the plane and they paid for our tickets to get into the event, but only Warner Brothers, I think, only paid for our hotel. And they only paid one night in the hotel because they expected us to come down one night and then fly back the next day.
But that's hard because Luke has a lot of health problems.
Yeah, so I mean that was crazy.
That one, Deanna, that's funny. That 1 minute of Breath of the Wild 2 has more to show for it than the Bandai Namco and Capcom put together.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Whoa. Like I said, they have a brand new Tales game they just announced. Tales of Arise, Elden Ring, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Jump Force characters. All kinds of stuff. Scarlet Nexus. They didn't put anything together this year.
Blazing Onyx says Metroid Dread looks very good. Square was fine since it showed Final Fantasy somewhat, even though I'm a Dragon Quest guy. Alright, let's see what the grades everyone had. Okay, let's see. First off, Sonic Echo says C- for E3. Galen gives E3 an F+.
Oh, ouch.
Savage Galen. Timmy gives it a B-. Red Fury says F-. QSA gives E3 a B+. Matt says C. Solid C. Ex-Law Enforcer C-. John Doe says I will give it a C as well. Uriah gives it a D- for E3.
Ouch.
Matt says Nintendo got an A+. Okay. Comical Nerd says D because entirely this year if I count everyone put together. Yep. ZVTV gives it an F. Donald gives it a C because of Metroid. Sammy Bear King B-. Pokewood gives E3 a C overall, and my cousin might have a new Xbox. Awesome, Roscoe. Nintendo gets an A from me, says Daniel. F+ across the board from me. From Galen. And
even with the Nintendo stuff, wow.
Well, everything put together though.
Everything put together,
everything
Nintendo
put
would
together.
put if E3
That's where the plus comes from. Yeah, what were you saying? Sorry.
Even if you combine all the grades with Nintendo included, Nintendo was an A+ show.
I like the savagery, Galen. Keep it up.
Nintendo brought the games. Nintendo brought the surprises, which with the E3, what you want from E3 is you want to be surprised. You want to know that you're going to be playing good games this year. And honestly, the games that I'm most excited playing this year are all from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, technically you can play on Nintendo now. So, I mean, that was my go-to game for the PS5 this year was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm going to play the one that's going to be best for my audience, which would be the PS5 version.
You want it to look pretty.
Yeah, I want it to look nice. So it would be the PS5 version of the game. Cloud service games scare me because I don't know what's going to happen with it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, majority of the games coming out are on Switch that I want to play this year. There's only a couple games on the PS5 that I'm really interested in, to be honest.
Ricardo, thanks so much for the super chat. Ricardo says Sony gets an A.
Sony didn't attend.
They weren't even here though. Okay, Sonic Echo says Nintendo gets a B, Xbox a C, Capcom D, Square D, Bandai Namco F.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, harsh,
Savage
harsh,
Sonic.
harsh.
Ooh.
Okay.
They should have showed the new Pokemon. Agreed, Galen.
It's not ready yet. I already told you. There's going to be another Nintendo Direct, guys.
Deanna says C because Nintendo and Microsoft pretty much carried E3, says Deanna. Indie showcased Freedom Games and Squad and showed... the Indie showcase Freedom Games and Square showed more than most developers. Agreed. And it's funny that a lot of the indie showcases were more fun to watch than some of the big name showcases. Earl the Turtle says Nintendo gets an A, Capcom a D, Take-Two major F, Square Enix C, Indie Showcase B. K-Wife, would you want to see Luke play a scary game? I would love to see his reaction. I want to see him scream like a little girl. Thank you for the comment, Red Fury.
Wow.
Tevia says D, and then he changed it to F. Battle Guy says C- for E3. Ooh. Daniel says, oh, maybe Nintendo for A? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad Nintendo fans got what they wanted, but those are not my games that I wanted personally. Yeah, that would have been nice if they showed, like, such as, like, Take-Two. People were looking for more of Borderlands, Grand Theft Auto, stuff like this, and they didn't show anything at all. That was it. One Bandai Namco game. No Tekken. Nothing. That was lame. Yep, totally.
Yeah,
OH.
I'm surprised. I guess they're just going by the rule, which was if a character has appeared on a Nintendo system, they can join Smash Brothers, and Tekken did appear on the Wii U and 3DS.
Breath of the Wild 2 and Metroid Dread 1. Metroid Dread. Oh yeah, I give Nintendo Direct an A+. I would give Square Enix a B+, and all the others D-, says Timmy. No, we won't play Cuphead again, probably. I think Back 4 Blood should will be cool because it's a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. Okay, that's cool. I still would have liked to see a Batman game, but Warner Brothers fails too.
DC fandom.
In my book, Warner Brothers gets an F- because they weren't even here. They didn't even show up. Okay.
No, they did. They did the same thing that Bandai Namco did. They showed one game.
Yeah.
One game.
All right, guys. Well, Ruga rated it a Ruga. Okay.
A Ruga rating. Ouch.
Ninja Goon says a B. Wow. It's generous. Deanna says, oh yeah, no, she was just agreeing with someone else. Daniel says A. Okay, QSA gives it a K, and alright.
A K?
Alright, Xbox and Nintendo an S- with Square Enix E-, and Bandai -Z. Thank you, Cryptic Division.
Wow.
Alright, guys, so...
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. That was E3. Hello,
That's
Brandon.
E3.
Hello, Red Hood, Plug, Cryptic Division, Galen, Earl the Turtle, Roscoe, SPX Gaming K, the Dude, QSA, and
PlayStation gets an A for not showing up.
Everybody.
Wow. All right, guys. So that is it for E3. So Ninja Gaiden streams will resume in 2 nights. I need a little bit of a break, and I'm going to be comatose after Ratchet and Clank because, like I said, I'm running on 4 hours sleep.
Finale of Ratchet and Clank.
Finale of Ratchet and Clank is at 6:30 over on K-Wing's Let's Plays.
Did you say my news? That I beat Monster Hunter this morning.
Amber beat the base game of Monster Hunter Rise by herself. Good job. It's pretty exciting. It actually is. So Amber wins E3. It's actually pretty good. Like and you've already started like some high rank stuff. So
yep.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching E3 with us. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of E3.
My reaction says what E3 was. It was pretty expressive during the Nintendo stuff, but for the most part, I look dead inside because I just feel kind of blah. I think Jeff Keighley did a better job. Jeff, if you're, watching or listening or whatever, for what you did last year was actually pretty impressive. Like scraping together all the excitement and stuff. It felt like what E3 used to, and this just felt like, I don't know, a company sales pitch for a lot of these games. It just didn't, other than Nintendo, because they're so used to doing the Nintendo Directs, everything else was just kind of meh. But yeah. See you guys on Ratchet and Clank if you want to watch it. If not, no worries. Ninja Gaiden will be happening, and I have some interesting Bat news to talk about, but it does not involve Batman trending the other day. So let's not talk about that. You guys have a great one. Thanks so much for hanging out. This concludes E3 coverage on Nightwing 01. Until next year, or maybe I'll do, I don't know, maybe they'll do something else. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe Luke will be a billionaire next year and we'll cover it from the show floor.
No, I don't like going to the show floor.
Alright, God bless, happy gaming. Peace out. See you guys next time. See ya.